Hi, and welcome to my Mindful Moments series video 2. So, little discussion today about self-compassion. This is a topic that I find so interesting, and I'm currently working with a group of 17 beautiful ladies in an online series. And our first week, last week that we met, we did in our class, we did really discuss quite a bit. I did talk about, through our practice, quite a bit about self-compassion and holding a space of self-compassion. So I wanted to kind of break this down and kind of like unwrap it for you and bring it down to a more easily digestible form so that we can more easily understand what exactly does this mean. So holding a space of self-compassion. So what this looks like for me is during my practice. So let's say, now that we're starting to really slow things down and prepare for a more restful time of winter, we may spend more time in the evenings. So I do spend more time in the evenings before rest, starting to slow down. So I may grab my yoga mat and take several minutes and just start to really unwind and relax. And so what this may look like for me is that I may close my eyes, either seated or lying down. I may just come to a comfortable position and start to turn inward. So I may close my eyes and start to focus on my breath. And I may start to slow my mind down. So my monkey mind that's always constantly going all day long with thoughts and judgment, and especially harsh self-judgment at times. This may start to slow down as I start to focus on my breath. I set my intention to be more present, and I start to breathe nice, deep, slow, controlled breaths and focus on that breath. That mind starts to still. And then what happens at times is things start to come up. So something may arise, a thought, a feeling, an emotion, a sensation. And when that happens, I need to be prepared to meet that with compassion, a deep sense of self-compassion, just as we would with our friends. So if you had a good friend who was coming to you with a problem and they're looking for comfort from you, so they'll come to you with their issue and they'll want to talk about it. And you will meet them with a deep sense of compassion, right? So what we want to do is we want to start to create that space for ourselves, which is so important. So maybe as these thoughts or these feelings, and let's use the emotion of shame as an example, but maybe that emotion of shame comes up for me. And so what happens is this emotion comes up, and maybe it doesn't feel good to me. Maybe I feel uncomfortable with this feeling of shame. And so what I need to do then is hold a space of compassion just as you would for that good friend of yours that you're holding that space for. So you just meet that feeling of shame with acceptance, with non-judgment. So we let go of any judgments of where's that shame coming from. We don't need to know where it comes from. We just need to know it's there. We need to allow it to rise up, to come to the surface. We need to notice it. We need to be aware of it, meet it with self-love, self-compassion, understanding. And then as we do this, we create this we bring it back up. We create this connection with it, and just gently, so this gentle awareness that it's there. Okay, shame is there, it's rising up. And when we do that and we allow it to rise, what happens is you'll start to see it dissolve. And as it dissolves, it's kind of like, that pot boiling and steaming, and the steam rises. And then as you watch, the steam disappears and it goes away, and we let that go. And that's the way to work our way through our emotions and our feelings and release that which no longer serves us, is by bringing it up to the surface, holding that space of compassion, holding that space of love, and then allowing it to release. And that's how we do this. That's how we create that space of compassion. And you can often, and a little practice I like to do is just bringing in the feeling of compassion. So bringing in maybe someone that you feel a strong sense of compassion towards, or maybe a situation that you feel compassion towards. Maybe there's a situation happening in the earth, on the planet, that can bring the vibration of compassion in. And so you can start to bring that feeling in and recognize it, and then just start to bring that compassion in for yourself. So maybe you had a hard day, and then you can kind of bring in that self-compassion and feeling sorry, not sorry for yourself, but feeling that sense of, I understand what you're going through. So shame comes up, and it's that understanding of, I know this is hard. I know this feeling is hard to arise. I know it's not a good feeling, and it's not something, we maybe enjoy feeling, but just holding that space of compassion and understanding allows us to let it go on such a deep level. And so when this happens, we release, we restore, and we're able to regain that balance within us. And the more we practice this, we move through our emotions, we hold that space of compassion, the easier it is to start to move through energies, start to really let go and release things that no longer serve us. And you'll notice over time, the more you do this, the more you practice this, it does get easier. It does get easier to recognize when these things come up. And maybe, you're in the middle of your day and you suddenly start to feel an emotion or feeling, and you think, where did that come from? And then you remember right away you're triggered, that we need to bring in that self-compassion, acceptance, and love in order to let that go. And the quicker this process starts to happen, the easier it becomes. The quicker we come into balance and flow, and we let go of that resistance, and we find that inner bliss, that inner peace. And this is all the process of becoming more mindful in our daily lives and becoming the one who drives our bus, the one who's in control of our life, and taking back control. So I wish you all joy, peace, and bliss on this journey. All that is good and light in me sees and honors all that is good and light in you. Namaste.